In a world where there are multiple opinions about anything, there is only one voice that will sort through all the mess. His mission is to sort the objective from the bias and bring the true meaning of the material. This is Cass, and he reviews. Welcome, freaks and geeks. This is Cass, and I will be your host this evening. What am I going to bring to the table? Now, I might have mentioned this before, but there are a lot of reviewers out there. Video game reviewers, movie reviewers, there's a lot. So, why am I doing this? What new thing do I have that no one else has? Me. I have my own opinions on things. I've seen a lot of people complain about Transformers. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I like Transformers. The new Turtles movie, that was pretty good. I liked it. But then there's some things that people like that I just cannot stand. So, this is a brand new perspective on anything. If you watch my Passageway to Horror video, you'd know that I'm planning on doing a bunch of reviews on horror movies. Now, I'm only going to be reviewing bad movies type thing. I'm going to actually be reviewing a lot of movies and have an objective view on it. See, that's the plan. I mean, some of my biased opinions are going to come in. You can't help that. But I will have an objective viewpoint on it. I won't be like, oh, this sucks because I hate it. I'll be like, oh, this isn't really that good of a movie, and this is why. So, without further ado, here is Bram Stoker's Dracula. There are two people that watch this movie. The ones that watch it for the plot/romance, and then the people that watch it for the boobs. I watch it for the plot. The story begins with Dracula's origin. You know, I kind of don't want to know the villain's story right away. Takes away the mystery. It's like showing you who the murderer is in a murder mystery. Oh, look at me, I have muscle armor. A note arrives at Dracula's wife, saying that he died in battle, so that caused her to jump out of the tower. He learns about this, and suddenly he revokes his faith and drinks the essence of life. Man, people take death hard in this movie. And we return back to the modern time, and we see Renfield in the insane asylum, which prevents him from doing his accounting duties. So our protagonist has to fill in for him. Now, the character of Renfield is almost unimportant in this film. And throughout the film, we see him being slightly insane, but the only real importance he has is that he's the reason why our protagonist is suddenly going to Dracula's castle. So he says goodbye to his fiancée, and it's right off to the train ride. Yeah, that was very heartfelt. Jonathan arrives at the castle and is greeted by a magic gate and Dracula. They sit and converse about the property that Dracula's about to purchase, which is no longer mentioned at all in this movie. And then John notices this painting of Dracula.
An ancestor? I see a resemblance.
Yes, the resemblance is very clear. I just love what they did with the shadow. It's very creepy. It adds an ominous feeling towards the Dracula's character. And this would be a little bit more creepy, though, if we did not know that he's Dracula. Well, he says he's Count Dracula, but still. without the beginning, this part would be very mysterious. Dracula notices the picture of Mina and gets strangularly jealous and silently vows to obtain her. This, based on looks alone. I mean, there's no... I know that the idea is that she's supposed to be the reincarnation of his wife, but this is only based on looks alone. We are introduced to Lucy as Mina gets lovesick, and damn it! Why does Winona Ryder get to play the good parts? We learn that Lucy is dating Mustache, Dick Van Dyke, and Wesley. We shoot back to the asylum and find out that Renfield is insane because he eats insects. How is that crazy? You eat to sustain life. He gets happy when Van Dyke mentions eating something big. Apparently, wanting immortality isn't insane, though, since that Mustache was interested in obtaining it as well.
And he has promised to make me immortal. How?
After seeing weird things and Dracula acting strange, wolves start to howl. On cue, Dracula drops the famous line,
The children of night. What sweet music they make.
walks away, and John sees him climbing up a wall. Why would you show off your powers? Hold on. Why would you show off your powers this early? No matter. John knows that he's a prisoner, and so he goes and wanders the castle, which leads to this scene. Yeah, I'm not going to show the boobs. If you want to see the scene, though, go and watch the movie. This is the part that I was talking about earlier, where it's like they only watch for the boobs. So Dracula stops his concubines from draining Jonathan and feeds him a child right in front of John, casting out all doubt that he is in trouble. Jonathan discovers that gypsies are filling in crates with dirt, and we find that Lucy is going to marry Wesley because who can resist? Then several things happen at once. A storm arrives, giving the scene a feeling of dread. A cameraman gets drunk as we get fan service. A wolf breaks out of the zoo. Dracula kills all the crew on the ship that was delivering him and his dirt for no reason. Renfield shows that is crazy. Van Dyke shoots up. Dracula arrives and rapes Lucy. Alright, so I'm going to stop right now here because there's something that this movie is lacking, and that's vampire lore. If you're going to have a epic movie based on a novel about a vampire, the main vampire, Dracula, he's the one that everybody refers to. Vampire Hunter D, Hotel Transylvania, Dracula is the vampire. So, when you bring something in like the dirt, gotta explain a little bit more about the lore. See, vampires can't cross running water. A lot of mythological undead creatures cannot cross running water. Look it up. So, one of the things is that if he has the dirt from his homeland, not only can he regenerate his powers, but it acts like he's not crossing over the water because he's in soil, he's in land. So, anyway, apparently that's not important to the film. So Mina walks in on Dracula getting dirty with Lucy and freezes. Dracula sees her and says, and disappears. Why does he disappear? He could have finished his business and left without her knowing anything. So they could have done without this string of confusion and explained the lore a little bit more about the dirt and the hypnotism. But nope, boobs! Oh, and this part right here, he's not jacking it. He is filled with primal lust and hunger that he almost attacked his love, represented by this special effect. And then Dracula pops out of this crate young. Because reasons. Did drinking the crew make him young? Why did he turn wolf, rape Lucy, and return into the crate? Couldn't he have just strolled down the street in his new young body? No one would know. Hey, look, there's Dracula in a young body. Let's kill him. No one knows him. It's just, I am in a new body. No one knows that it is me. And then we see Dracula working his magic on Mina to make her love him. This isn't really... No, I know what's going on in your mind. This really isn't cheating. It's not because Dracula's using his magic to make her fall in love with him, but just hanging out with the opposite gender does not make it cheating. Wishing you were spending your time with the other person instead of the person you're with is cheating. And the wolf shows up, interrupting Dracula, and this is the only time this wolf becomes important. We see Van Dyke checking in on Lucy. He's so concerned about Lucy's health that he calls on Van Helsing. No, not that one, the good kind! So Dracula left John with his concubines so they can drain him and keep him weak instead of killing him off. You're in the castle, you just like slaughtered him and no one would be the wiser. Alright, the thing I like about this scene right here is that the vampires cannot enter the house without being invited in. So he sends his shadows to do the job. Van Helsing vaguely knows what's going on and jumps into action and performs a blood transfusion. Wesley gives his life to save her. This, not the Dracula plot, is romance. When you're willing to sacrifice yourself to save the other person, instead of like rapey, stocky the person. I mean, come on. Jonathan escapes without so much of a whoa, and comes across a church. He sends for Mina to get married, and she says goodbye to Dracula to his great displeasure. And travels to be wed. Van Helsing runs us down about the basics of vampires. This would have been a great reveal. This would be a great reveal that Dracula is Vlad the Impaler. Instead, the scene comes off dry. Dracula shows up to finish off Lucy in wolf form as Mina and John exchange their vows. They bury Lucy in the Snow White coffin, and Van Helsing tries to convince Van Dyke about Dracula. John and Mina arrive home, and Jonathan recognizes Dracula as his young form. How? All he knows is that the man there looks like a picture of Dracula's relative. How did he make the connection? It seems like he's jumping a couple steps. Van Helsing leads the almost swinger trio to hunt Lucy. They cut her head off and stake her and cut right to raw beef. Come on! I'm tired of this gag. It's like, oh, human parts flying. Oh, meat they're eating. Just symbolizing that it's human meat that they're eating. It's gross and wrong. Van Helsing leads the vampire hunters to Dracula's lair via John's information, while they hide Mina in the asylum. Mina and Renfield exchange words, and Renfield informs Mina that Dracula is after her and warns her away.
Master, you promised me eternal life, but you give it to the pretty woman.
Yeah, because you're kind of a nutshell. Dracula shows up, kills Renfield, and persuades Mina to join the undead. Now this is cheating.
I want to be what you are. See what you see. Love what you love.
Kill what you kill.
Take me away from all this death.
Oh, you mean the one death that you missed? That he committed?
Mina!
Upward! So the hunters face Dracula, and he runs off after transforming into rats of unusual size. He retreats to his home via ship, and the hunters travel by train. When Dracula passes them, they decide to cut him off by horse and use Mina as a decoy. Mina and Van Helsing sets up camp. Mina tries to seduce Helsing, but he places a holy coin on her forehead that burns a mark.
You cut off my head and drive a stake through my heart as you did poor Lucy, you murdering bastard.
No, your man did that. Dracula's concubines kills the horses, and then Van Helsing kills them with the short sword of the Yakesha. As the sunset arrives, Mina casts a spell? Is she lowering the sun? Speeding up Dracula's horses? Creating cloud cover? What is she doing? What does this spell do? I mean, it's snowing, I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's snowing season. I don't know if these clouds are natural. All you see is these rings going up into the clouds while she's saying... And it's just... it's confusing. You're in the epic chase/battle scene. This needs to be explained slightly. Like one of the hunters could ride and look up in the skies like, oh crap, they're summoning the storm. I don't know what's going on. Battle ensues as the sun sets. Mustache gets wounded and Mina misses the gate. Jonathan slashes Dracula's throat and Mustache stabs him in his heart. John decides to let them go as Mustache passes on. Mina and Dracula exchange a moment, and then Mina decides to end his pain. She chops off his head, and the end. Good night, everybody! Just kidding. What was up with that ending? They just cut it off. It's like the story was supposed to be about Mina and Dracula's romance. Even though the romance started with Dracula's powers, the story started with John and Mina and how Dracula's powers affected their relationship. It seems like halfway the writer got too interested in the romance between Dracula and Mina and decided to write about that. But what about John? This movie barely has conclusion. Dracula's dead, the end. What about John and Mina? Do they get back together? Does this whole ordeal with Dracula makes things a little awkward? Personally, it would with me a little bit. But we could end with a letter or a diary or something that explains at least a little bit of the feelings between John and Mina after this. The ending just feels cut and dry. So, is it still a good movie? Yes. Yes, it has boobs. Yes, it has plot holes. Yes, it doesn't explain everything. All in all, it's still a better romance than Twilight. Damn it! I almost made it without a Twilight joke. Anyways, this is still a good story. If you want to catch a good classic, I suggest Universal's Dracula. It's black and white, but it's pretty good. It's very solid. So anyway, if you enjoyed this review, give a like to this video. If you'd like to see more, subscribe to my channel. And you can always check out the other videos I have. And until next time, stay white and nerdy.